Next is from Junior Mendoza, and subject is Chris Jericho. What's up, guys? Question: do you think Chris Jericho is running out of ideas and his shtick is getting go-away heat? He recently said in a podcast that his segments pull ratings, and when you look at the ratings, his segments actually go down every time he's on TV. Well, bro, every segment goes down on AEW because if you look at the show, it's like an Olympic ski slope from the beginning to like the end. It's like it's like literally like a ski slope.
And
so
in all actuality, nobody is really
right.
The ratings are increasing except for the first segment.
Right. Yeah. And it's not even increasing the first segment. That's just right.
Right.
And who was it recently that they said was that Harley Cameron that gets the bump?
Now let me say something about Jericho. Jericho is one of the most creative, funniest, wittiest guys in our business's history, and I'm sure he'll reinvent himself. I was saying before hi guys, I was saying he should go away, let the people miss him, like Alexa Bliss or something, comes back with another thing, but the hi guy thing got over. And I even said it on the second week. I go, if they continue, because they had like 4 segments of the hi guy, right? And I go, they're going to overexpose us and it's going to get old, which I was right.
Next is from, hi guys, it's Tad from H-Town. The subject is Shane McMahon AEW. Hope all is well with y'all, and Konnan, hope you're feeling better. Wanted to ask about Shane McMahon getting close to a deal with AEW and that Tony Khan didn't go for the idea because Shane wanted an equity stake. I know you guys are aware, but wanted to dig a little deeper. That branding's a shock to the system. McMahon would have shook the wrestling world. Maybe it wouldn't have helped, but there's a good chance it could have raised ratings. Question is, will there be anything that is offered to Tony that he will take to help his brand? Seems like all I cared about is collecting his toy wrestlers and writing his fantasy wrestling show. P.S. Mike Durbin filling in for Joe would be hilarious. LOL. Hashtag Kazoo City. What's your response to him saying that Mike Durbin filling in would be hilarious?
So you mean you don't like?
I'm asking Joe the question. Joe, what do you think?
Oh no, Mike would do the job. Absolutely.
And this is who sent this question?
Tad from H-Town.
So Tad, what you're telling me is you don't like Joe's quick wit and takes and how he keeps the show moving. You'd rather have Mike Durbin in here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right.
No, let me answer my portion of the question about Shane McMahon. Tony wants to be in charge. Tony wants to write the show. So Shane coming in was not a feasible situation. But the funniest thing is, if you look online, it's kind of funny that, that the AEW crowd is kind of forwarding the fact that they think they're on a really good run of shows, even though shows' numbers have been terrible. But they're doing this because WWE is on a run of negative feedback. So they're trying to feed off of the negative feedback and to try to get people hey, we're on a great run of shows right now and stuff. So, what's funny too is Dave can still continuously keeps calling people frauds and for bringing up their lack of numbers and lack of attendance because they're ignoring the rights fees.
Right.
Think about that, bro. The rights fees are fixed income that they're going to get for the next 3 years, regardless.
Right.
So everything else of your revenue depends on your ratings and whether it drives attendance. And they're just AEW now, I guess, is fine with just taking the win on the rights fees for the next 3 years and saying their shows are great. It doesn't matter if they're not drawing. It doesn't matter if they're not filling the stands. That show is so disappointing to me.
But what was the question?
He asked about will there be anything that is offered to Tony that it will take to help his brand? No.
Here's the big problem with Tony. I brought this theory up before, and so I think Tony was that typical guy at school who was kind of the rich, but he was geeky. Because I remember there was this kid in school. To get to my school, you either had to be bussed in or usually your parents drove you in, which neither one looked cool. But there were some guys that their parents lent them their car or they bought them a car, okay? Usually geeky nerds, right? But we would hang out with them because they would give us a ride to school. And during lunch, you either had to eat the cafeteria lunch or you could go across the street and buy pizza or a sub, right. But you had to be driven there. So I would always hang out with guys like that because they had money and they had a car. And I think he was a guy at school that was rich, that had a nice car, that would buy everybody food, but he was still weird, nerd, geek, whatever he was. And
Probably played Dungeons and Dragons like wrestling.
100%.
Like, yeah,
100%. Then he gets a chance. He's a wrestling fan. He gets a chance to buy a company, and maybe his dad said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you ever going to amount to be anything, or you just, And so he's trying to prove to his dad this thing here, because he was never anybody. And I do think from everything I've seen and everything I've heard, and believe me, I've heard a lot from people that are close to him, he's a megalomaniac. And all he wants to do is read his name like if he was Vince McMahon, which he's not.
Right.
And he wants to get credit for everything. But it's stupid, because like I've said before, you should surround yourself with people smarter than you, and then take ideas and you pick the best idea.
Good point. If you want to make some fantasy picks on your favorite sports, check out Underdog Fantasy. It's all the rage, where you can choose higher or lower between 2 to 8 players, and you can win up to 325 times your entry. Use the code K100 at the Underdog Fantasy website, on the app, or at our personalized link, and you can receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well as a free pick. Underdog Fantasy offers a unique approach to fantasy sports, and it's a simple pick-em style format. You can select players you believe will outperform expectations without the complexities of traditional daily fantasy sports. The user-friendly interface and growing community make it easy and fun to play, plus it's available in over 30 U.S. states. We will share our picks for you every week on K100 Sports, so you can follow along or play against us. So use the code K100 at UnderdogFantasy.com, on the app, or at the link included in the show notes, and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. UnderdogFantasy.com. It's an underdog thing. Next is from Human Shield. Subject: would you actually go to AEW if you were Cedric Alexander? Hi, guys. This question may seem basic at first, but let me explain. Everybody assumes, and possibly rightfully so, that Cedric Alexander would go to AEW to be with the Hurt Syndicate. However, there's a key thing people are forgetting. Cedric Alexander's longtime partner is Big Swole. Whether you like her or not, whether you think she's good or not, she was ghosted by Tony and let go of the company. Okay, that happens, no big deal, but then Tony then proceeded to bury her publicly, calling her a bad wrestler. Again, whether you agree or disagree isn't the point. Someone publicly slandered your partner. Would you go to work for them without some kind of major apology? Konnan, would you be happy to work with someone who insulted your wife in public? To me, that seems like a non-starter.
No, I wouldn't. But
you did the interview with Dave, who publicly said things to me.
He insulted your partner. That's
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
And?
So you just said misinformation.
What?
You said the answer is no. You wouldn't do it. Well, if it was your wife, though, I guess that's a difference.
Yeah, you're not my wife.
Yeah, this is problematic, though. That thing said Cedric Alexander's married to Swole.
Yeah.
So I
do think this. If the hottest act in your company is asking you to bring him in, and Cedric does not have a history of being difficult to work with, I don't think Tony would say no.
Yeah, and if you're Cedric and you can make $500K or whatever it is, you can't say no. You can't.
Yeah, big deal. It's been a few years, that Swole thing too. So,
yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.